We are the eye test, and we are here with the week one pick'em for the NFL season of 2025. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. So, right off the bat, on Thursday night, Kansas City versus Baltimore. I got Kansas City. Kansas City is going to they're going to show up, take care of business. Do not see them losing, and I'm just going to keep it simple like that. Second, I got Philadelphia versus Green Bay on Friday. In my opinion, Philadelphia should be a better team this year. It's not a whole lot of thought into it beyond that. I think Philadelphia will take care of business against Green Bay. And apparently, Philadelphia has a huge fan base in Green Bay. I mean, in Brazil, so that should help them some uh, get a little bit of home cooking in a foreign
Mm,
land.
yeah.
Um, and then you got Atlanta versus Pittsburgh. I got Atlanta. Atlanta has gotten better. They've added a better quarterback. They've added uh, defensive players. And Pittsburgh, in my opinion, they didn't. They got more stable quarterback play, but outside of that, I don't see any other real marketable improvements from them. So I'm going with Atlanta. Buffalo over Arizona, simply because Arizona does not have a good defense. Uh, and we don't know what to expect from this offense yet. They had a lot of guys that left, and they do have a absolute dog that has come in for his rookie season in Marvin Harrison. But we still, it's a lot of unknowns over there. And with that, having a terrible defense, I'm going with Buffalo. Uh,
Mm.
I got Chicago over Tennessee. I just think that Chicago is going to start off fast and early, and the Caleb Williams uh, hype train will run out the gate right away, I guess. Um, and then I got New England over Cincinnati. I just think there's a lot of drama going on in Cincinnati amongst the players with T. Higgins not wanting to be there, Jamar Chase holding out. Um, I just don't see them being ready for week one. I think Cincinnati will be all right in the long run, but I don't see them being ready for week one. And I have this game as one of my shocker games where the team that should win is going to lose. Houston over Indianapolis. This is another team. They were good last year and they got better this year in Houston. Adding Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins is back, Tank Dell is back, adding Joe Mixon, along with CJ Stroud, who was having an amazing campaign last year. I'm going with Houston. Miami over Jacksonville. I don't think I need to say a lot when it comes to that. Um, Miami is just a better team. And then I have Carolina over New Orleans. This is a tough one to pick, but it's only tough to pick because both teams aren't very good based on what they did last year. But I'm going to go with Carolina here uh, just because I really don't have a real reason for this. My gut is just telling me Carolina. We'll see if I'm right though. Minnesota over the Giants. I have the Giants as being the worst team in the NFL this season. So when it comes to this, I'm more than likely most weeks going to pick uh, whoever it is going up against the Giants. I'm going to pick them over the Giants, and this just happened to be one of those weeks. Minnesota, yeah, they got Sam Darnold, but at the end of the day, New York also has Don, Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is horrible as well. So this is a toss up, and I'm going with Minnesota. Um, Chargers versus Las Vegas. I'm going with Las Vegas. Las Vegas still got Devontae Adams, and they still have a lot of good players on that side of the field when it comes to Mason Crosby and others. Whereas Los Angeles Chargers, A lot of shakeup. Brand new coach. Um, Almost entirely brand new receiving core, new running backs. Everything is new over there for the Chargers. I don't see them winning this game, where Las Vegas has a little bit more stability when it comes to the coach that they finished the season with last year. Like I said, Devontae Adams, Mason Crosby. I go with Las Vegas. Seattle. I got Seattle over Denver. Um, this was a toss-up game for me, but I gotta trust DK Metcalf and Geno Smith and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think they will pull it out, man. And you know how it usually starts with Seattle. Kenneth Walker starts the season healthy, and when Kenneth Walker starts the season healthy, he goes off. So I think that Seattle will have a good game against Denver, and it's usually on the second half of seasons where Seattle gets themselves in trouble. Um, Cleveland, I got Cleveland over Dallas, and that's because it's this is bias for me. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's
Call it how
absolute.
it is. Call it how it is.
Huh?
I said, call it how it is, bro.
You know what I'm saying? This is bias for me. It's F Dallas all day, baby. So I'm like, and Cleveland is a good enough team to be able to beat Dallas, and this is at their house. I think so. I'm just gonna go with Cleveland, and that's just the way I see it. Cleveland's defense is good enough to get the job done against Dallas, and if you get Deshaun Watson, a healthy Deshaun Watson, and if he somewhat returns to form in the past, they got the weapons to make some noise. I do not think Jerome Ford is going to have a great game, though. I think Dallas defense will be able to limit his rushing total. So look out for that for you fantasy people. Um,
Mhm.
I got Washington over Tampa Bay. I think this is just going to be a surprise one, and I this is another one where I think that the rookie QB comes out the gate uh, firing, and I think he's going to get it done with his legs. Um, think he's going to get it done with his arm a little bit, and I Washington they have a renewed energy. I believe they got a new owner, new players, new quarterback. I feel like they want to prove something, and I this will getting a week 1 win will be good for them. Um, I have Los Angeles Rams over Detroit. Healthy Cooper Cup, healthy Puka. That's just what it is, man. You got Kyron Williams. Detroit, their defense isn't a slouch, but it's not where it needs to be yet to stop a Rams offense with Sean McVay when all those guys are healthy. I just don't believe that. So I'm going with the Rams. And finally, I got San Francisco taking a loss to the Jets. Now, this isn't a biased pick on my part. I think that this could go either way, but I do have the Jets defeating the 49ers because Aaron Rodgers, first game, a lot of hype around that. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers wants to prove something. I feel like San Francisco, this is another team that had a lot of conversation and turmoil in their offseason. Trent Williams is just now showing up to practice. And you got Brandon Ayuk, who just now participating in practice this week. I feel like even though they figured everything out as a team, that that flux of the offseason is going to show itself in week 1 at the very least. And I do think San Francisco is going to be all right, but I see them starting off 0-1 simply because they're going up against a good opponent in the New York Jets who has a good defense, and this year they'll have a good offense with Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson, and now they actually have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So Sean, with that being said, sir, how do you feel about my picks, man?
I like most of your picks. There's a few of them that I disagree with. I don't really think you have any terrible picks. Um, yeah, that's what I'll say. I don't think you have any terrible picks, but I there are some picks that I'm like I disagree with, and once I get to my picks, then I'll explain that those differences. So, but not all in all, I think you have a solid pick, right? A solid pick 'em lineup here. You just don't have a winning one, but you have a solid
Ooh.
one, you know.
Well,
So
we'll
yeah,
see,
we
won't
gonna get
we?
into this. We gonna get
We'll
into
see,
this.
won't we? All right.
Yeah, we will.
All right, here we go. Now, here goes part two. Sean's picks.
Yep. All right. So just to start this off rip, Kansas City over Baltimore. You see the little at sign next to Kansas City. It's at Kansas City. It's people don't talk about it as much as they used to, but it's still, if I'm not mistaken, it's still in the top three or even number two is one of the hardest places to play when it comes to the crowd noise, right? So it's Kansas City at home, defending champs. Andy Reid has had an entire offseason to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at it and say everything about this matchup screams Kansas City over Baltimore. Baltimore, their bread and butter is running the ball. Kansas City, their bread and butter is stopping people from running the ball. Unless Baltimore comes out here and changes their game plan and says, you know what, even though we have Derrick Henry, we're going to come out here and throw a bunch to start the season off, then I don't see, how they win this game. I do believe it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a defensive game. It's not going to be a pretty game for either team, but I just see this as being more of the same. Kansas City squeaks this game out, maybe like a 3-point win, but I got Kansas City over Baltimore. I can't bet against Andy Reid with that much prep time at home with Pat Mahomes on that team. I can't do it. All right, so you have the Eagles versus Green Bay. Jordan Love is everybody wants him to already be what he's going to become, and he's just not that yet. All right. This is a game that's in a foreign place. You're going all the way to Brazil. Jordan Love is not used to this type of atmosphere, this type of game. Philly has a lot more vets on the team. I just feel like this when you have these traveling games, that type of thing matters. And I think Philly wins this with ease. Not complete domination, but they win this with ease. Two scores. Eagles over Packers. And Eagles just have a great team. I just don't, yeah, you know what I mean? The roster just, there's nothing that Green Bay can do about this game. Atlanta, I have Atlanta Falcons over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, the my issue is this: Steelers always play a tough first game because their defense is always there. You know why they lose those tough first games? Because the offense is never there. Okay, and I do not believe in their offense, especially with their depleted receiving core. The depleted receiving core is 100% of the reason why I'm picking against Pittsburgh in this first game. Atlanta does have deep defensive backs. Their weak spot is their linebackers. You know what I'm saying? But they have defensive backs. That's a problem for Pittsburgh right now. So I don't care what Russell Wilson does or what Justin Fields does. There's nothing they can do to win this game. Atlanta with the win. All right. Buffalo over Arizona. I don't need to explain this very much, but Arizona's just bad. Defense is bad. They don't have the weaponry offensively, and I believe the Buffalo's defense is not going to be as good as it was, but it's good enough when they have Josh Allen, and I think Josh Allen can beat them by themselves, but beat them by himself. All right, Chicago over Tennessee. I have Chicago over Tennessee. Very simple. I know Mark, you said the hype train is coming. Caleb Williams comes firing out the gate. They just have too much going on, man. It's way too many weapons. If you ask me to choose between Caleb Williams and Will Levis, the answer is Caleb Williams. They have all the right pieces, Mark, to come out of the gate firing, as you said. and I believe in the pieces that are on that team. I believe uh, the coaching. I don't care how bad the coaching is. You can't. They really can't mess this game up. They're at home as well. So there we go. I got five home picks for the first five picks. All right.
Yeah, we're 5 for 5 so far.
Yeah. So the next pick, I got New England over Cincinnati. You said somebody has to go down. I say I look at Cincinnati's situation with the receivers. I look at how much they've lost offensively, receiver, running back, hold out, all that stuff, and I look at New England. New England's strength is defensive backs. Cincinnati has to throw the ball. It's just 2 plus 2 equals 4. Zach Moss is not a between the tackles runner the way that you would like him to be. He is more of a receiving back. If you got to sit back and throw the ball 45 times and you've got to play against New England, to me that's a loss. Season opener, they will be prepared. And yeah, I don't think it'll be a pretty game, but New England over Cincinnati. Um, Plus, Cincinnati starts slow every year. It just is what it is. All right,
That they do.
Houston over Indianapolis. I think Houston is the best team in the league right now. Um, Personally, maybe I'm biased because I like CJ Stroud, but I just think they're the best team in the league. They play against Indianapolis. Simple, no brainer. That's an easy win for them. It should be an easy win for them. Miami versus Jacksonville. You have Miami at home, and you know how Miami plays. As long as it's not cold, and as long as it's in the, you know what I'm saying. As long as the situation is right with the field and all that shit, they're gonna ball out. Jacksonville, I have zero faith in that organization, that team, the quarterback, all of the above. I only like Travis Etienne. I don't like their defense. They don't have a shot. Mike McDaniel is going to cook them. Uh, New Orleans over Carolina, purely because of New Orleans' defense. They might not have a lot, but they have the defense to absolutely wreak havoc for a quarterback that is not good like Bryce Young. And even if things were equal, and you ask me who do I trust more, I would probably trust Derek Carr over Bryce Young. Um, it's as simple as that. Yeah, New
Right.
Orleans, North Carolina. Um, we have the Giants. So I know we disagreed there, Mark, but yeah. So I have the Giants over Minnesota. I know we disagree there as well. Um,
Mm.
I I have the Giants over Minnesota, and it pains me to say this. The Giants' defense wasn't that bad last year, but everybody keeps telling me that Minnesota's defense is above average, but I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe in Sam Darnold. Um, he's in a new system. Daniel Jones is not. I believe coaching matters. Brian Dable is definitely a better coach. I just think that when you piece all those pieces together, it says that the New York Giants should win, and they'll be at home. Not that I think home field matters to the New York Giants, but I have them edging this game out versus Minnesota. Um, we have Chargers versus the Raiders. I have the Chargers winning this game. Once again, we disagree there, Mark. The Chargers, I'll be honest with you, you made a compelling argument, Mark. You might be right on this one, but I'm going to tell you why I picked the Chargers. They, their defense, I believe in their defense more than I believe in the totality of the Las Vegas Raiders right now. I do like the coach, and this is why I think that you might be right. Coaching does matter, Mark. We talk about this. I do think they will be more prepared for this game than the Chargers will. So my pick was purely based on the defense, and I think my pick might be in trouble. But yes, Seattle over Denver. I picked Seattle because they don't turn the ball over, Mark. It's very simple. They protect the ball. They play a safe brand of football. I understand they have a new coordinator in here. And the thing about their new coordinator is he's willing to spread the offense out a little bit more. They're not going to see these two tight end sets, the tight end, fullback, running back set. You're not going to see old school pro I formation and stuff like that. You're telling me they're going to open up the offense a little bit, and they're still going to have a bell cow running back, and you're still going to have Geno Smith at quarterback. I just have to believe that they're not going to turn the ball over like that versus Denver. Denver's defense doesn't scare anybody these days. So yeah, I have Seattle over Denver, Dallas over Cleveland. We disagree on this one as well. Um, I'll be honest, Mark. I hate picking the Cowboys, but defensively, they're just too good. They're just too good. Nick Chubb not being there means everything. You asked me the same question. If Nick Chubb's here, I'll tell you Cleveland wins. Nick
But
Chubb's not
I
there.
mean, yeah, okay,
Nick Chubb's not there. So now you're relying. Jerome Ford cannot do what Nick Chubb does. Definitely
right,
not against that Dallas front.
and
And then
that's what
now you're asking Deshaun Watson to be the Deshaun Watson of old. I understand you believe that he might be. I don't believe that quite yet. So therefore, I'm going with Dallas.
I think he's capable of reaching that this year. That's all.
I think he is. I just don't think it's week one. So then we have Tampa Bay versus Washington. I got the Bucks over Washington. Defense once again. Washington's defense. They lost.
Roll
They
up.
gave up everything on defense. They gave away their entire defense, Mark,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also just lost Jahan Dodson. Um, it's too much for a rookie quarterback to overcome, and that's pretty much it. Tampa Bay
But they
checks.
have Noah Brown, and they have that, and they have Luke
They have Luke
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. I understand, but I don't expect rookies to carry the team. I
But
don't
that's why they
expect.
got Terry. They got Scary Terry, Austin Eckler, and
I get
Brian
that it
Robinson,
takes it takes time for a quarterback to develop rapport and all that stuff
and
with
they
his
got
wide
Zach
receivers.
Ertz. They got all
Everything
the veterans
everything
in the
that you're
world.
saying sounds good in week 8. It does not sound good in week 1, Mark, and that's why I have Tampa
Well,
Bay Buccaneers over Washington.
and that's the one where I'm going to stick my foot in the ground on.
And that's fine. You know what? Do I hope Washington wins? Honestly, I don't care if they win, Mark. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't care if they win. But I would like for Baker Mayfield to come down to earth a little bit after his season last year. Maybe that's hate. I don't know. But
Hmm.
then we got the Detroit Lions over the
Scroll
Los
up.
Angeles Rams. We disagreed on this one, Mark, but I'll be honest with you. My initial pick was the Rams. It was for every single reason that you named when you picked them.
Scroll up.
Scroll it. Oh, you need to. You can't see it. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I had the Los Angeles Rams losing to the Detroit Lions. I had them initially for all the reasons that you said, and then when I got back around to picking it over here, I'm just like, you know what? The Rams ain't got no defense, and that's going to be a problem.
Hey,
You
you
know,
notice I
and
didn't say anything about that defense.
I do believe that no, don't get it twisted, Mark. I do believe that this is going to be a shootout. I have every. This is going to be one of the games to watch to me. Um, but all it takes is one stop, and I think that Detroit's defense is not that good. I agree with you there, but I do think they are capable of getting enough, just one more stop than the Rams, and that's all it's going to take. Because let's be honest, this is one of those games you look at on the schedule, you say it might be a last possession game.
Mm.
So I do believe the game is going to go the same way that you kind of believe, but I just think that when they need a stop, Detroit might be able to get it in the Rams camp. The Rams do not have an answer for the Detroit offense. Um, San Francisco 49ers over the Jets. We disagree on this one as well. Um, the I have the Niners. It's not a homer pick. Um, when I explain it, maybe it'll sound like it, but Aaron Rodgers just hasn't had success against us. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if it's a team thing. When I look at this current roster for the New York Jets, I love the defense. Absolutely love the defense. But when I look at the totality of the roster, Mark, it looks very similar to the same Green Bay teams that he was having that he was losing to us with.
Mm.
And that's what I'm looking at. Like everything says that he should be able to win this game. Just like it was in Green Bay. Everything said that he should be able to win those games, and it just didn't happen. I'm going to lean on the side of history here and say that the Niners win this game at home versus the Jets. Let's not forget one thing. They don't really have a lot of chemistry because of Aaron Rodgers' injury last year. So this is almost like it's the first season that they're playing with them.
Well, all right. Well, that's our picks for week one. We do have a tiebreaker, and if need be, we'll get into the tiebreakers. But it's no need to get into that right now
Yeah,
because I don't think we'll need to. I think
yeah.
I'm.
Not with all the different picks we got. Nah.
Yeah, I think one of us is running away with it, and I really don't like their tiebreaker. So right now, I'm willing to make a bet with you that the tiebreaker will be Washington, Tampa Bay. That
Mm.
we disagree on that one. So if it's a tie, whichever one is of us is right about Washington or Tampa Bay, that will determine the tiebreaker.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I have confidence in my bets in my
yeah,
picks. So
because I believe I have confidence in Washington coming out
yeah,
the gate. All right.
yeah. I don't know if you can see my tiebreaker on the screen. You can't see it. If you look down there for the tiebreaker two, I have Washington scoring the fewest points this week.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like,
that's
that
crazy.
shows you the level of confidence that I have.
That's
In this bet.
crazy.
That
Mine
is crazy.
mine is I have the Giants scoring the fewest points this week.
That's a good bet though too. It's the Giants. You can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, so hey,
So
there's
yeah,
that. But all
but
right, man. That's the end of our week one pick 'em episode. Come back to us next week where we'll go over how we did and also give you the new week as well. Um with that being said, man, it's nothing left but to say peace and remember as always, it's only entertainment.
yeah.